Hey guys, today's video we'll be reacting to Zack D Films.
When the Ninja Turtle talks, tiny motors inside the head move his eyes, and these are controlled by an off-screen puppeteer using precise switches and levers to change the turtle's expression. At the same time, an infrared sensor tracks his mouth movements as he speaks, and a radio signal sends the information back to the head, moving the turtle's mouth in exactly the same way. The whole thing is powered by a battery pack, and the actor practices dozens of times with the puppeteer, making sure it all lines up perfectly before they start shooting. When the Ninja
Alright, stop. Why that much batteries? Are you charging up the whole entire Earth? I mean, it just looks like a suit. But the whole body's a suit just for the head. Except for two motors and a moving mouth.
Turtle talk while riding on a hoverboard.
Who's gonna ride on a hoverboard? Alright, it's not that time. And do not trip on that dude.
Dentist yanked out her tooth. He then sent a video of it to his friends. Now, the patient was unconscious when this
So you're just sleeping and then you get famous overnight?
happened, and she had no idea she was being filmed or that the dentist was riding a hoverboard. But when they investigated, they found he was also embezzling millions of dollars, so the dentist was sentenced to 12 years in prison.
Enhance your practice with
You would press the letter A on the keyboard, but the machine would light up a totally different letter. That's because inside were spinning wheels called rotors. Each rotor scrambled the signal in a different way, and every time you pressed a key, the rotors turned, changing the code again. By the time the message was done, the letter swap seemed completely random. But the machine could never turn a letter into itself, so an A could never become an A. Code breakers used this flaw to figure out common words used in the messages. Then they built giant machines to test thousands of possible solutions at a time, and this allowed them to crack the code and read Germany's secrets, helping them win the war.
I did not understand one word he said, but okay.
The goose pushed out an egg made completely of solid gold. And when the
Alright, so did you eat gold yesterday for like a cardio?
farmer checked the next day, he found another golden egg. At first, he was thrilled. Each egg meant steady wealth for the rest of his life. But he eventually convinced himself the goose must have a pile of gold inside her. So he stabbed her in the neck and slid the knife all the way down to open her body, hoping to find all the gold. But inside, there was nothing. And now his goose was dead, which meant no more golden eggs. His greed destroyed the very thing that made him rich. The goose, he lunged at the old man with a
Yeah, so like, that's too much greed. That's the definition of greedy.
knife after breaking in to rob him. But the 72-year-old was a former boxing champion, and in seconds, he landed two powerful punches straight into the burglar's face. The force of the punches knocked him.
But why did you highlight that? Bro. POV, if you break into a house and you just see a trophy and it sees a boxing trophy and be like, yeah, sorry, wrong house. I was gonna get pizza. Yeah, for my friend. Yeah. And I'll just run away.
Backward onto the floor with a bloody lip and a swollen black eye. And before he could react, the old man restrained him, holding him in place until police arrived. The burglar went to prison, and the judge said he got exactly what he deserved. He lunged at
Imagine if the judge just high fives the man right in front of you.
The fake dice are squeezed between the cheater's fingers as they cover the real ones. Then they slide their hand off the table, using their thumb to pull the real dice out while releasing the fakes. Now, these replacement dice contain tiny metal weights on one side, so when they're rolled, the metal side tips down, letting the die land with the chosen number on top. And by swapping them out, cheaters can rig games while making it look completely fair. The fake
This bush of yours is clear.
they would put on the
If you're a cheater, that would be the greatest thing you ever heard.
earpieces and point the huge metal cones toward the
Are you trying to go death? Just speed running go death? What are you doing with those huge telescopes?
sky. The cones would catch the sound of airplane engines and send it through tubes to their ears.
Make it go blind? Death?
Then they twisted the frame until the noise was the same in both ears. That told them which direction the plane was coming from. Meanwhile, another team did the same in a different spot. And when they compared directions, the two lines crossed on a map showing exactly where the plane was. Now, this worked in World War I when planes were loud, but modern planes are too quiet and fly too high, so now we just use radar. They would put
Alright, so that's their back in the day radar machine. That looks like a death speed run.
If you circled the entire planet, they would put
I
on
want to go death. I mean, I don't know if I would do that. Giant telescopes just blaring in your ears.
the earpiece. If you circled the entire planet on a zip line, how long would it take you to zip all the way?
It would take you as long as you go fast. The faster you go, it would take you to go around the zip line when it takes you.
Around. Well, at 40 miles an hour, you would be riding for 623 hours. That's about 26 straight days of hanging in a harness. Now, if you went 100 miles per hour, it would only take you 10 days, but at that speed, the constant wind would dry out your eyes and make your lips crack and bleed. And since the sun would be shining on your face for 10 days, your skin would soon blister and peel off. If you
Hey, what are you doing? Everyone knows that.
He was tied up
Alright, so the greatest answer to this is do not zipline around the earth.
and dragged from his pen. But he wasn't a wild pig. He was a beloved therapy animal on a rescue farm. But two men stole him and staged a fake hunting video, pretending he had been caught in the wild. Then they shot him point blank in the head and entered him into a contest, winning $1,000 for first place. Later, they hung the pig's body from a tree and posted a rap video bragging about it, preventing his owner from ever giving him a proper burial.
Bro. Therapy? Alright. Bro, you're not Kanye West.
They propped a tiny cannon on. He was tied up and
West. You're just your average robbers. Nobody's gonna be like, oh yeah, that's that guy that did that awesome rap. No, bro, you're not Kanye West.
They propped a tiny cannon on top of a sundial and aimed it north. Then they dangled a glass lens right over the fuse. As the sun climbed higher, the light passed through the lens, and the lens focused that sunlight into a white hot dot. When the sun hit its highest point at solar noon, that dot landed on the fuse, causing the gunpowder to ignite and the cannon to explode. They propped a tiny cannon on top of a sundial.
I know you want.
They slice a
When school's over, just get like So like, I just turn into a giant and I just like touch and I just steal it in a medieval can and I just put it with a ginormous magnifying glass. But I'll tell them to run away because they might be burned so badly. So then I'll just be like at noon, everybody would just hear boom. And I'm like, what? And they're just like, what time is it? We have to go. And they're like, oh, it's noon. Wow, thanks for saving us from being at school later.
Layer of skin from a dead person's body. Then it's sent to a lab where every living cell is scrubbed away. This leaves behind a clean, flexible sheet made of collagen.
Is this how you make rubber?
It gets freeze-dried, sealed, and sent to your doctor. There, it's soaked in water and slid under your gum where it's shaped and stitched in place. Over time, your body fills it with living cells, turning dead tissue into your own gum.
Why'd he bite right there? He's like, but you're not a chihuahua.
The shovel hit something as he was digging a hole in the yard. Now, at first, they thought it was an old fence post, but then they saw the handle. Barry just...
Alright, so there's a chance that they might have stole the Disney park's sword, that thing, like in the medieval times, like Disney might have existed in the medieval times, and you're just like, pull the sword out to get $1 million. And everybody tried it, and this guy's right here, and you're like, what's this sword?
6 inches down was a sword. It was rusted and missing a chunk of the blade. But when an expert saw a picture of it, they found that it was a cavalry saber from the Civil War, meaning it had been buried in his backyard for over a century. The
No.
If you get stabbed in the eye, place a cup around the knife.
Who would purposely stab you in the eye? Like, why would you stab yourself in the eye? And how does that even happen?
And wrap it in gauze to stabilize it. Then cover both eyes. This is because if one moves, the other moves too, which can tear the wound open even more. Keep your head still and get to the emergency room, where doctors will carefully remove it before sealing up the hole in your eye. If you get
the worst scar.
It coils its body around the rat, and each time the rat exhales, the snake tightens. This is because sensitive nerves in the snake's skin feel the heartbeat inside the rat. When its blood is pumping, the snake squeezes longer and harder. But once the heart stops, the snake automatically stops squeezing. And this helps.
Yeah, bro. This is like Python versus shark. Okay, so all of my citizens, this doctor will help you, but also kill you. So you better watch out. I feel like everything hates mice and mouse. Mice and rats. Cause like, bro, cats, snakes, humans. Yeah, it's just like they're bad luck.
Them say they would light 4 rockets on the dragon's sides, launching it through the air like a missile. Just before they burnt out, they would light hidden fuses inside the body, and this set off the smaller rockets in its mouth, shooting arrows into the air. Each one hit the enemy ship, killing soldiers on board, and these were used over 600 years ago.
Do you have 600 of them?
Making it one of the world's first 2-stage rockets. They would light. You have to move all 4 discs to another peg, but there are 2 rules. The first is that you can only move 1 disc at a time, and the second is that a bigger disc can never sit on a smaller one. So start by moving the smallest disc to the.
Move the smallest disc right next to it. Move the bigger one to the last one. Move the bigger one on top of the small. Nope. No. Move that smaller one that's in the middle on top of that. and then move the yellow one right there. Take that off and put this on top of the red one. He never said anything about that, so then put the yellow one, put the blue one on top of the yellow one, and then the green one on the last one, and then put the red, stay the red there. No, put the red. Thank you. Nope. Actually, so the blue and the yellow are stacked on top of each other. Put the green actually on top of that, and put the red on the other one. So now put the green here. Put the blue on top of the red. Keep the yellow there. Now move the green to the yellow, top of the yellow. And then move the blue here. Let me think. And then, wait, what? This is confusing. So the blue, move the blue over here. Then we have the yellow and the green. So then take the green off and put it on top of the blue. Put the yellow on the red. Put the green one in the middle and put the blue one on the red on the last one. And then put the green one on there. Got it.
Right, then make the only legal move that isn't the smallest disc, and move the smallest disc to the right again. So now place disc 3 in the middle, and whenever the smallest reaches the end, move it back to the first peg. This allows you to move disc 2 to the middle since it's smaller than disc 3. Then move the smallest to the right on top of the middle stack, and make the next legal move by placing disc 4 on the last peg. Now repeat those 2 steps, moving the smallest disc, then the bigger one, and moving the smallest back to peg 1. And keep going until the whole tower is rebuilt on the other side. She was trying to pull her 2-year-old daughter out through the open passenger window, but as she reached in,
Why is she in the front seat? I don't think.
the toddler's tiny hand pressed the electric window switch. The glass slid up, closing tightly around her neck, and in seconds, her airway was cut off. Her husband found her slumped against the car, unconscious. He smashed the glass to free her and rushed her to the hospital, where she eventually died from the pressure of the window.
I would got so mad. I would have threw that car in a nuclear bomb in a volcano strapped to a shark.
She was trying. The crowd sat facing the Statue of Liberty, framed between 2 giant pillars, as a curtain was slowly raised in front. They watched as music blasted through speakers. Then, when the curtain dropped, the entire statue had disappeared? What was actually going on here? Well, the audience was sitting on a huge turntable that rotated slowly so they couldn't feel it. And the loud music covered the sound, while a spotlight shifted with the table. This made it look like they hadn't moved, and when the curtain came down, a pillar was perfectly blocking the statue from their new view. The crowd sat. They made a long ditch inside the Civil War.
Well, I would just do that. I would be like, everybody, I stole the Statue of Liberty. And I'd become famous. Like, I stole it. And I'd be like, no, it's right here. He'd be like, wait, what?
Prison, and if you stepped past it, the guards would shoot you. You see, outside the line was shade and water, close enough for the prisoners to see. And since they were kept in the blazing sun, the temptation to cross the line was always there. But if even just one finger crossed, soldiers shot them dead, which is why they called it the deadline. Years later, this became a term for due dates, but when your brain hears it, you still react like it's life or death. They made a long ditch in.
Oh, okay. Alright, that was kinda brutal, but okay.
The tube goes in your nose, down your esophagus, and into your stomach. An X.
Alright. breathe?
Checks to see if it's in the right place.
Your stomach? The only way it would not be in the right place is if you spar with Mike Tyson. Just one blow to the stomach, and it's gonna be so hurt, it might as well just fly out your back.
If it is, a special liquid containing vitamins and minerals is pumped directly into your stomach. This is used in case you don't swallow properly, feeding you for up to 6 weeks. And when you can eat again, the tube is removed. The tube goes in your nose.
I'm gonna hand you ice cream as soon as you finish up. Like, what's your favorite ice cream? Vanilla, okay. Alright, let's take your nose off. Yeah, here's the ice cream. Like, wow.
The dealer lays down 3 cards and tells you to follow the queen as he flips them fast. And when someone in the crowd chooses a card, it reveals the queen and they win. But once you step up to play and choose the spot where the queen is, it's the wrong card. You see, the dealer actually swaps the queen out with a sneaky hand motion before you can catch it. And the other winners in the crowd are in on the trick, pretending to win. So when it's your turn, you can never win. They took a human skull
That's the easiest way to win money.
from a burial ground and cut off the top before
Why?
cleaning and polishing it. Next, they would carve designs into the bone before attaching metal and precious stones. And this sacred bowl was filled with wine for use in religious ceremonies. It was offered to the angriest gods to symbolize blood. And others contained bread baked into the shape of eyes, ears, and tongues, all just to keep the gods happy. They took
Look, I'll give it.
The giant steel shovels slam into the ground in a circle around the trunk. Then they
It's basically just speed running, planting trees. It just picks up the tree and just places it in somebody else.
dive down deep, slicing straight through roots as they form a cone-shaped basket under the tree. Now, some roots are cut, but most are lifted inside the packed ball of soil. Then the hydraulics pull upward, raising the entire tree out of the ground. The spade carries the tree to its new spot, with the root ball still clamped tight inside the blades. The truck lowers the tree into place, and the shovels slide back out one by one.
Alright, for that grass, I need to clean it. Bro, I'm not gonna be the odd one out of the even.
And ready to keep growing. If you tried to hit a cannonball with a wooden bat, it would
You're cooked.
shatter into splinters and rip your arm right out of its socket. That's because a cannonball travels at almost 700 miles per hour.
And who's gonna hit a ball the size, half the size of, quarter the size of a TV? Who's gonna hit a ball the size of a pillow just running at you 700 miles an hour? Who even tried this?
hour. Now, a metal bat is stronger, but the cannonball would still turn.
I know there's this guy that had his invincible stomach and he got hit by a cannonball. Still survived. Kinda think that's a little fake, but
Turn it into shrapnel, and you'd still lose an arm. You would
alright, that's good.
need a tungsten alloy bat 4 inches thick and swung
5, how about?
with superhuman strength if you wanted to stop a cannonball. If you
Bruh.
tried to hit a make a small triangle with your hands and hold it out at arm's length. Then look at something far away through the triangle, keeping both eyes open. Your brain will merge the images from both eyes into one picture. Now close one eye, then the other. One of your eyes won't be able to see the object. That's your non-dominant eye. But when the object stays perfectly in view, that's your dominant eye, the one your brain uses to line up your vision, telling you which eye to aim with. Make a small triangle with your hands and hold it out at arm's length. Then look at something far away through the triangle, keeping both eyes open. Your brain...
Right.
The kidney was placed in a cooler and flown to another state. There, a man picked it up to drive the rest of the way to the hospital, but his car skidded in a snowbank and he was stuck in the middle of a raging blizzard. Now, the kidney only had hours left to be transplanted, so he called 911 and an officer began to dig him out with a shovel. Finally, a tow truck pulled him from the bank, and with his car finally free, he rushed to deliver the kidney and made it just in time, saving the patient's life. They slide a thin needle straight through the cork of $1,000
That's good. Just stop.
whiskey bottle, and as the liquid flows out of the spout, it's replaced with gas. Now, this device is actually designed to sample wine without opening the bottle, but thieves use it to empty high-ticket whiskey bottles. Next, they refill them with cheaper alcohol using a syringe. Once the needle is removed, the natural pressure in the cork reseals the hole, and the bottle looks brand new, meaning the thieves can resell it and keep the real whiskey for themselves. If you slice certain bowling balls in half, inside is a thick weight block in the middle, and as the ball rolls, this uneven weight makes it spin unevenly, causing the ball to curve sharply down the lane.
I got 2 strikes the other day playing with my friend. I did a curveball and it hit straight in the middle, and then I got both of those strikes. It was probably like 7-10 miles. At least it has to be 6 and over and higher miles per hour to at least get a strike good. But then you need a curveball, which is just spinning it.
Now, if you drill holes into the ball, it slightly shifts its balance, and this can make the ball spin differently, giving you an advantage.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Curveball, I hit it that way. And
The singer always had 10 dimes in his pocket, and the reason for this is kind of sad. You see, his son was kidnapped years prior, and all of the ransom calls had to be made from payphones. He would panic, terrified that he would run out of coins while trying to negotiate with the kidnappers. Now, after 2 days, his son was released safely, but Sinatra never forgot that fear of being helpless. So he carried exactly 10 dimes with him for the rest of his life. And when he was buried, his daughter was sure to place 10 dimes in his pocket for him. The singer...
wow. Bro, you ain't getting famous by somebody's son, bro. And that's it. See you guys